My dad started crying, never seen him cry before. My mom was obviously, shaken up. And being 9 years old, you don't quite understand. I knew something in my life, was going to change.
It's a well-known thing for sportsmen to defy difficult odds and stay at the top of their game. Could be someone recovering from a brutal accident, fighting against poverty from a young age, or losing a loved one. But it's not often that you hear about an NFL player who has fought back diabetes and still continued to play football stronger than ever. That's what we're here to talk about. This is Mark Andrews, the NFL legend who defied type 1 diabetes. Picture this for a second. You're a young, athletic kid with dreams of making it big in football. You're fast, you're strong, and you've got hands that can snag a football out of midair like a hawk catching its prey. But then, out of nowhere, life throws a curveball. Type 1 diabetes. For most people, that might have been the moment where the dream took a back seat. But for Mark Andrews, it was just the start of a journey that would see him rise to the top of the NFL, defy the odds, and prove that absolutely nothing, not even a chronic illness, was going to stop him from becoming one of the best tight ends in football history. This is a different level of grit, determination, and a relentless will to succeed. Mark Andrews was born on September 6, 1995 in Scottsdale, Arizona, a place known for its scorching summers and occasional cactus mishaps. From a young age, it was clear that this kid was built differently. He had size, speed, and an instinct for catching footballs that made it seem like he had glue on his hands. His father, Paul Andrews, is a urologist, and his mother, Martha Andrews, works in real estate. His brother, Jack, is a urologist, his sister, Annie, is a dentist, and his other brother, Charlie, works in real estate. This family was well established, but one thing that glued this family together was sports. Growing up in a sports-loving family, Andrews was naturally drawn to football. While other kids were still trying to figure out how to tie their shoelaces, Mark was already running crisp routes in the backyard. By the time he reached high school at Desert Mountain High School, he was a standout wide receiver with 58 receptions for 1,058 yards and 10 touchdowns as a sophomore, 81 receptions for 1,494 yards and 21 touchdowns as a junior, and 68 receptions for 1,122 yards and 17 touchdowns as a senior. But just as his football career was taking off, the universe decided to test him in the most brutal way possible.
To be a mom and not be able to help your child is a scary thing.
At the age of 9, Andrews was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a condition where the body doesn't produce insulin, meaning he would have to manage his blood sugar levels for the rest of his life. If you're a kid, that means a lifetime of insulin shots, constant monitoring, and having to be extra careful with what you eat, which, let's be honest, is a pretty big deal when you're that young. For some, this diagnosis might have been enough to give up on sports. But Mark Andrews? Nah, he was built differently. Despite having to manage his diabetes 24/7, Andrews didn't slow down. In fact, he became one of the most dominant high school receivers in the country. Standing at 6'5" and running like a gazelle, he was an absolute nightmare for defenders. Scouts took notice, and soon Andrews had college offers piling up. He could have gone anywhere, but he decided to stay close to home and committed to the University of Oklahoma, one of the premier football programs in the nation. But Oklahoma had one small request. Hey Mark, we know you're an elite wide receiver and all, but how about you play tight end instead? Now, for most high school wideouts, that's like telling a Lamborghini it should try being a pickup truck. But Mark took the challenge head on. He bulked up, learned blocking techniques, and completely reinvented himself as a tight end. And boy, did it pay off. If you followed college football between 2015 and 2017, you probably heard the name Mark Andrews a lot, mainly because Baker Mayfield was throwing him the ball on every other play. At Oklahoma, Andrews thrived in the Sooners' high-powered offense. Despite the adjustment from receiver to tight end, he quickly became a reliable target. By his junior year in 2017, he was an unstoppable force, racking up 62 receptions, 958 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. That performance earned him the John Mackey Award, given to the best tight end in college football. He also helped lead Oklahoma to the college football playoff, proving that he wasn't just a pass-catching tight end, he was a game changer. In early January 2018, it was announced that Andrews would forgo his senior year at Oklahoma in favor of the 2018 NFL Draft. Andrews finished his 3 years at Oklahoma with the 6th most touchdown receptions by any receiver and had the most receiving yards by a tight end. Despite his incredible college career, some NFL scouts still doubted him. Could he transition to the pros? Was he athletic enough? Could he block at an elite level? One team had no doubts, the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens and Charm City's newest son select Mark Andrews, tight end, Oklahoma. Wow. Go Ravens!
Doubling up on Sooners.
In the 2018 NFL Draft, Andrews was taken in the 3rd round by the Ravens. For a guy who had just won the Mackey Award, falling to the 3rd round was a bit of a slap in the face, but Andrews, true to his nature, used it as motivation. Ravens fans didn't have to wait long to see what kind of player they got. By his 2nd season, he had emerged as Lamar Jackson's favorite weapon, leading the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. His breakout year came in 2019 when he posted 64 receptions, 852 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That season, Andrews was named to his first Pro Bowl, helping the Ravens secure the #1 spot in the AFC. From there, he only got better. Over the next few seasons, Andrews established himself as one of the top tight ends in the NFL, rivaling names like Travis Kelce and George Kittle. But what makes Andrews different isn't just his ability to catch passes. It's his grit, leadership, and toughness. Oh, and did we mention? He does all of this while managing type 1 diabetes. This dude is tough as rocks. Unlike most players, Andrews has to monitor his blood sugar levels before, during, and after every game. He wears a glucose monitor, takes insulin shots when needed, and never complains.
Yeah, I had 100% do, brother.
Check my blood sugar.
You recognize those guys? Kind of rush
Every time I come off the field. Yeah.
In 2021, he had his best season yet, putting up 107 receptions, 1,361 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That performance cemented his status as an elite tight end and earned him first-team All-Pro honors, an accolade only the best of the best received. All of his achievements were well-deserved. Andrews isn't just a superstar on the field, he's an inspiration off of it. He's used his platform to raise awareness for type 1 diabetes, speaking to kids and families who struggle with the disease. He's proof that a diagnosis doesn't have to define you. You can still achieve greatness. Every time he steps on the field, he's showing the world that hard work, resilience, and determination can overcome any obstacle. He also serves as a spokesperson for those with diabetes and speaks with young people about its effects and ways to live with diabetes. Last year, Andrews continued to exceed all expectations. In Week 6 against the Washington Commanders, Andrews caught a 13-yard touchdown pass and tied Todd Heap for the most receiving touchdowns in Ravens franchise history. The Ravens would go on to win that game 30-23. The following week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Andrews caught 2 receiving touchdowns and would surpass Heap as the Ravens' all-time leader in receiving touchdowns, as the Ravens would win that game 41-31. On December 15th against the New York Giants, Andrews, after catching a 13-yard pass from Lamar Jackson, scored his 48th touchdown of his career and became the all-time Ravens franchise touchdown leader. Andrews finished the 2024 season with 55 receptions for 673 yards and a career-high 11 touchdowns. As Andrews continues his career, one thing is clear: he's already a legend. So, the next time you watch a Ravens game and see number 89 making a ridiculous catch in traffic, just remember, you're witnessing greatness, you're witnessing a fighter, you're witnessing Mark Andrews. What are Mark Andrews' best moments in your opinion? Let us know in the comments down below. If you're new to this channel, click on that bell icon to be notified about our latest videos. And as always, stay tuned to NFL Insider.